In this video I'm going to be talking about sort of what happened in the first couple of weeks in acting and sort of how I felt when we first started them. So in the first week we started to learn about some ensemble work and sort of what that meant to us and sort of how we felt about it. And when I first came into the performing arts group and we were talking about ensemble work, I didn't really know what ensemble really was because I hadn't really learnt about it and stuff. So it was a new thing for me, and it was quite daunting looking back at it, just thinking like, oh god, what's ensemble work? And then I just sort of thought like, alright, I'll just get stuck into it. And yeah, looking back at it, I was quite sort of nervous about what we were going to do. And for the first couple of exercises, we started to do some flocking. So we started off with a pair, so two people moving, and one person was the leader. So they would move one body part very slowly, and then the other person would copy, and then we'd swap that round, and then we started to do it obviously in bigger groups until we were doing it as a whole class, and that sort of was really nice to sort of get into and like sort of learn about how important it is to use your peripheral vision to sort of see what other people are doing, what everyone else is doing, so it looks like you're part of one as such. But at the start of the acting sort of day as such, I was very nervous about what we were going to do, and sort of because we didn't really know each other very well, so ensemble work, physical, and we were all like, oh god. So it was quite daunting. And then in the second week we still looked at ensemble work, but we started to look at a train station scene. So at this point we started to look at how ensemble work can be used as a small group, so with people at a certain scene or something. So for this we had to be as normal pace and then quickly move to slow motion. And again, at the start I was quite confused on sort of what was needed and what the task was, but sort of as I got more and more stuck into it, I sort of thought, alright, this will be alright, and it was sort of, as I got more relaxed and sort of thought, okay, let's just get stuck into it, I started to enjoy it a bit more, which was fun. And then in the second week we started to look at clowning, and the third week even, sorry, I had never really looked at clowning at all. I wasn't really interested or sort of like being very aware of clowning, but looking at it and seeing what the, not expectations, but what is needed for clowning, I started to really enjoy it, and I thought it was a lot of fun because we had to sort of play a certain character of a clown or something, which I really enjoyed, because you could be a really funny clown or a really sort of subtle clown. So it was sort of, you could either be yourself or this whole completely new sort of person as such, which I thought was really interesting for me. And then in the fourth week we started to look at, no, sorry, I had to go for a professional performance, so I came back into week 7, and we started to look at absurd theatre and monologues, and the monologue was called The Bold Prima Donna. And sort of, as I came in a bit later, I was sort of, oh god, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I wasn't too sure what absurd theatre was or what it meant. So I was very nervous to sort of come in, and I saw everyone was sort of off the book, sort of, and they knew what they were doing and such. So I was quite panicky, and I got like caught up in the moment of, okay, I haven't done as much as everyone else, but sort of as soon as I started to not think about what other people were doing and what I could do, and I could just explore it, I started to enjoy it a bit more, and I sort of started to get into it and enjoy what I was doing and just try new things out, because I never really looked at absurd theatre at all, and learning a monologue was I've always been interested in doing, but I've sort of never pursued it. So doing this, it really sort of helped me get an idea of what monologues were and sort of what they're about. And in acting at Week 8, we actually performed our monologues, which, yeah, it went really well, but I think I could have been a bit more absurd with what I was doing, because it was very sort of structured sort of movement, and for my character he needed to be a bit more sort of jumpy as such. So I think if I had a bit more time and understood a bit more, I think my character would have been different, but I am happy with what I had done. And then on the 9th week of acting, we started to learn about another monologue, and this was we chose a partner chose ourselves a monologue, and mine was called The Treehouse, which was about a little Jewish boy who knew about the trains. And this was really out of my comfort zone, because it was very serious as such of a performance, and it was very emotional as well. So it was a very sad emotional piece, which was very much out of my comfort zone and what I'm not really used to doing. So it was really nice to sort of be pushed out and like say, okay, this is what you have to do, like, and knowing that you didn't choose it yourself. So it was sort of, okay, this for me it was interesting to do, and the more I got into it, the more I realised how much of a kid this little boy was, but how serious the incident and what was going on around him like actually happened. So it was quite hard at the start to get that balance of a kid, but also having that seriousness, which I thought was really nice for me to do. And then in the 10th week, we performed our monologues, and I felt very good about it and how I performed. I thought it was one of the best runs as such that I had done, and I was really happy about that. And